All right, I'm here at a job of mine. I'm going to start my day, and all right, I'm going to start my day, and this is unusual for me to be starting this late in the day. It's about 9:30 this morning, and yes, I had to get up at 5 or 6, but sometimes you have to get a little bit rest, and you want to be able to achieve your goals, but you want to be sensible about it and not kill yourself. But I don't want to go into any motivational speeches in this video because I just like talking about this stuff because a lot of people doubt themselves. But anyway, today I want to talk to you about soaps. All right? And why you do not want to use soap in certain applications. One being pouring soap directly on the mop. I've seen hundreds of videos of people doing this, and it's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with it at all. The problem with pouring soap on the mop, you have people that live in different climates, okay? I don't see any videos enough explaining this, and I think the reason is because most of it might be common sense to some people. But for those newcomers, they're not going to know these things. And I'm the person to elaborate on this subject because I've been doing this a long time. And I understand the concept of cleaning windows. Okay? I understand the science behind cleaning windows. I got it down to a T. Okay? Now, it is true. Now, the squeegee needs to glide across the glass. There is no big secret about that. There is no secret at all. Having the right solution on the window, it's no big secret at all. The consistency, the right amount of bubbles, the right amount of froth. Okay? Now, when you pour the soap directly on the mop, what's going to happen? When you're dealing with elements, what's going to happen? When you're dealing with certain parts of the world, what's going to happen? Okay, we have some people that live in sunny Florida, sunny California. They don't see hardly any cold weather, any extreme temperatures like we do. Like people over in Canada, people over in Alaska, people over in Russia. You know, they don't see the sub-zero temperatures that we see. Okay? So, I'm going to tell you what works against you when you do this. And no one will tell you this. At least I have never came across any video on YouTube that explains this like I'm going to explain this to you now. When you pour soap on a mop, after you dip the water, all right, let's say you don't have that mop saturated with water, and you pour soap on that mop, and you have black glass, and you're in direct sunlight, what do y'all think is going to happen? It's going to dry up. Soap dries much faster than having solution with soap in it and dipping your mop. All right? Okay, now, it is true that, well, it's not going to really apply if you're right up on your work and you're mopping as you're going. I'm not talking about that. Now, if you're doing that, in that instance, yes, it's fine. But what happens when you're doing commercial jobs and storefront jobs and you have a row of windows and you can't be right up against your work? Pouring soap on a mop could have disastrous effects. For one thing, you'll be spinning your wheels because it will be drying up too fast. I don't know no person on God Grease Earth that they're that fast that could clean a window, mop about 6 or 7 windows by pouring soap directly on a mop and mop about 6 or 7 windows and go back to where they started and start squeegeeing it before it dries up in direct sunlight. Now, it don't take a rocket science to know that. But for these newcomers, how are they going to know this? All right? There is certain methods to use when, okay, it's 5 minutes. I don't want it to go past 10 minutes. I know your attention span is not that long, but if you can just make it to the end of this video and grasp the point of what I'm trying to get to. All right? Now, commercial jobs. I've been taught and trained not to put too much soap because it'll dry up on the window. All right? Now, some of you may say, well, first cleans, well, don't you need the soap to agitate the dirt more so it can grab onto when you're ready to squeegee? Yes. Yes and no. Okay? What's going to end up happening when you put too much soap? Not only do you have a lot of foam to clean up, but when you take a shower, okay, what happens with soap scum? It clings to everything, which is why we use Dawn, because it allows for repeat service. All that dirt clings to the window. All right, it's nothing wrong with repeat service if you're on maintenance cleans. But if you have a set service and you're there every single week or every single 2 weeks or once a month, why would you use all that soap? And whether you use a lot of soap or not, whether the windows stay clean or not, you're still going to get paid. You're still there. You're still held under that contract of being there every single month. So why not work smart? Why not cut your soap ratio in half? Okay, first cleans. There's other methods you can do to clean the dirt off efficiently without having all that soap. And that's adding ammonia to your solution. What this entails is not going to dry up in direct sunlight. The next thing I want to talk about, on certain frameworks, soap scum, all that froth, all the bubbles will start to fade surfaces out over time. If you don't, the scum left behind from soap, your ratio, you want your ratio to be right, but not to the point where you're just cleaning off foam off the windows. Now, with certain tools, yes. And particularly the liquidator. Now, yes, I've used the liquidator, and I've been able to use that without adding all that soap to pad. If you understand the concept of cleaning a window, you can clean a window without all that soap and still have the same glide. All right? But enough talking about tools and things that we're talking about your solution. All right? My next question is, what's going to happen in sub-zero temperatures when you add soap directly to the mop? Yes, your solution will be lighter. Yes, you won't have your solution sloshing all around when you're swiveling. This is all true. This is all true. It's common sense. But do you really want to be fighting and moving, okay, against the sun, against the cold? Because what's going to happen when you pour soap in very cold weather on cold glass, what's going to happen? It's going to freeze instantly, okay? So you got to eliminate almost all the soap out of your solution permanently. Because even with washer fluid, having the slightest amount of soap, the slightest amount of bubbles will freeze instantly. I don't care how good your antifreeze is, below 15 degrees, below 30 degrees. If you put soap, hey, don't take my word for it. You wait for it to get 20 degrees out, and you pour all that soap on the mop, and you see exactly what I'm talking about. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do then? Okay? So, you better learn how to clean a window and stop getting used to pouring soap on the pad, because it's not necessary to clean a window. You don't need all that soap to clean a window. You can clean a window with just plain water. Just plain water. That soap is to make the squeegee glide. Okay? And you don't need too much soap to make that squeegee glide. Okay? The more soap you put in there, I mean, it's not going to hurt. But I tell you, it is going to hurt in direct sunlight and on real extreme temperatures. Also, when you're working by yourself, you want to get a good row of windows, and you have an extreme amount of soap. It's going to dry up before you even get to the third window. And I've been doing this a long time. Yes, when you have overlapping windows and your solution is loose. What I mean by loose, you have less soap in there, almost to the point where your solution is falling down the window as soon as you mop it in. It's not staying still. All right? Yes, you want to have it to the point where it's not too much soap, but it sort of stays there. But the more thicker the solution, the less runs you're going to have over the next glass right up underneath. This is true. But you want to have a consistency where you know how far you can go before that soap starts to dry up. But this is all I wanted to say. This is to make you guys aware of knowing the difference of applying soap to the mop versus the water. When you see, a lot of you guys focus on residential, and a lot of you guys are commercial. When you're doing commercial, you don't need all that soap. Now, when you're working with two people, this is not an issue. But when you're working by yourself, having all that soap will slow you down. Why? Because you'll have to be right up against your work. When you're doing pole work, you don't want to have so much soap. Unless you have a multifunction tool like M.A.W. or Wagtail, then this doesn't produce a challenge because you have a mop and squeegee combo. But check this out. I know you've seen in most of my videos where I wet a bunch of windows with my high flyer and then I go back and squeegee them. Not all the time will I mop a window in and flip the Wagtail back and squeegee it. Because even though it takes a fraction of a second to flip the squeegee backwards, you still have to take it off the glass. That's a second loss. When you have a French door, well, not French door, but when you have garage doors that have multiple windows, it's not practical to do every single window and flip the mop back, M.A.W. or Wagtail. It's too much work. You want to mop all the windows in and then go back and squeegee it. The seconds that you use spinning, flipping it back, is seconds lost, and it takes more time and effort to squeegee the window before it. I mean, you can do it, but do you rather work hard or do you want to work smart? But it's 15 minutes, and I didn't intend for this video to be this long. But I just couldn't sit by and stand there and watch a lot of y'all pour soap on a mop without understanding what could happen And people, especially the newcomers, don't do as they do. Seek as their sought. There's a reason why they do what they do, okay? There's a reason why they pour soap on the mop, okay? There's a reason why some people don't. Understand the differences. Understand there's a method to people's madness. But if you made it to this video, then that means you really, really are trying to understand the concept of cleaning windows and knowing the science behind cleaning windows. And some could explain it better than I can. Some could have explained whatever I said in this video in probably about 5 minutes. But, hey, I'm too overanalyzed. I tend to overanalyze a lot of stuff, and I'm sorry, but y'all stay up. Macafracka like a peace, peace, peace.